Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. And thank you so much for being here. Let's go ahead and get started with business right now. And hold on, let me get turned on here on YouTube so we can get you guys on here. Boom. All right, that's the live stream. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, live now. We got 19 of you watching right now. Okay. Some reason I'm not seeing the control room. Okay. This is weird. I'm live. Status is good. Stop streaming. New. View and watch page. 41. Well, guys, welcome to the train wreck. For some reason, my YouTube is saying it does not recognize my video format, so I can't see the live stream. Let me click out of this. Forgive me for just a second here while I figure out what the problem is with it. But guys, thank you so much for joining in on our live stream, and I'm trying a few things different than usual, so bear with me. If it's a train wreck, well, I apologize, but we're doing a few extra things. I've been working this weekend with it being a holiday, trying a couple of different things and adding to this. And if I can find the cursor, let's see if we can get it back here. Okay, go to events. Let's see if it comes up this time. 75 of you watching. Thank you guys. And let's see it on the watch page. Let's see if it's there. And it looks like, yes, we are there. Thank God. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. Let's see who we've got in the house. We got Boomer Sooner. We got Brian. We've got Corley. We got Matt. We got Carolina Cowboy. We're coming to town this week, man. Marcelo. Deion Sanders. Rowdy Friend. Christopher Clayton. Sean. George. KK. Drew. David. Larry. Victor. Charles, Samuel, Eduardo, Corey, Derek, Pablo. Okay, just bear with me for one more second, guys, because I've got to get the Vimeo up as well so we can see the stream over here, and we can get the chat going over there as well. Now, before we start talking about America's team, our Dallas Cowboys, I want to say thank you. Thank you to whoever it was that actually got my channel shut down. I don't know if that was trolls. I don't know if that was Cowboys, ESPN. I have no clue. Everybody who's over on Vimeo, thank you for joining in. I've got the chat going on. Let me just expand the page if I can so I can see it. There you go. Yes, I finally got it. Okay, so whatever reason my original channel was turned down, I don't know. But I'm thankful that it did, because a lot of times what happens in life is things happen, and when you're in the middle of it, you're pissed off. You don't know what to do. You feel lost. Jobu, can I steal a little bit? Yeah, I'm going to steal just a little bit. And I forgot my roots, because when bad things happen, it refocuses you. It gives you a chance to restructure, redevelop, regroup, and go at it. And I am happy as can be right now. Last week, guys, I was down in the dumps. I was just like ready to say, the hell with this. What am I going to do? But the fact that right now we are able to actually go to two platforms at the same time. I can't do Facebook and YouTube at the same time because Facebook doesn't allow it. The fact that I've gotten refocused and started using this Vimeo camera, although let me say that high def isn't for everybody, because now you can see all the crow's feet and all that stuff that I got going on. But I'm excited as can be about the things that we are going to be able to do with this channel. It's going to be, I want to say, like a production project. I'm already working on getting guys, Foots, talk to him. We're going to be doing some videos together. E2 Blue, he's going to be back on over. Getting everybody together and bringing you some real content. So you won't see as many videos, but what you're going to see is you're going to see stuff that's going to be hopefully looking and sounding better and bringing you more and more quality programming. So I want to start tonight with Dan Bailey. And let's go ahead and go to our coach, our leader. Hang on one second here. Okay. I told you guys it might be a train wreck. This is Jason Garrett's press conference. We'll just listen to a few minutes of it.
Here over the last
about Dan Bailey.
7 or 8 years, and he's one of the elite kickers in the game and has been throughout his career. He's made a ton of big kicks for us. It was not an easy decision for us to make. Obviously, a lot of factors go into this kind of a decision, and it was one that we talked about a lot. And there's a business side to the game as well. That's certainly a factor in making a decision like this. But really, honestly, there's a business side to making a lot of decisions we make in the era of the salary cap. You have to allocate dollars to certain guys, and you have to decide where you can maybe save some money and save some salary cap space. So I can't say enough about Dan Bailey as a person, as a kicker, what he's done for this organization, the number of pressure kicks he made for us. And he and I had a good visit the other day, talked the whole thing through. We wish him nothing but the best going forward. But he's been a great player for us, and he'll continue to be a great player in this league.
This is more of a financial decision and decision that declining performance or anything?
Again, there's a lot of factors that go into all these decisions. You're evaluating the player's performance, and you're also evaluating, how you're putting the entire roster together. And there are a lot of different factors that went into this. It was not an easy decision for us, and he's obviously someone we think a great deal of, and wish him nothing but the best going forward.
What were the on-field factors that led to this? I mean, he had one kick in the preseason games. If there was a competition between these guys, why wasn't he allowed to kick?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing you would look at is, he's had some injuries over the last couple of years. Had a back 2 years ago, had the groin last year. Obviously didn't kick his best down the stretch last year. A lot of different reasons for that. But again, when we put the whole thing together and decided what was the best for our football team, this was the decision we felt like we had to make, and it was a hard decision. There's no question about that, and we went back and forth on it. We discussed it a great deal. One of the things that gave us confidence is how well Brent Maher has kicked, both in practice and in games, and we feel like he has an opportunity to help our football team in that role.
Have you noticed an erosion in his performance, like you say, with the back in 2016 and then the groin last year? Did you notice an erosion in his performance level?
Yeah, I don't really want to get into that part of it. Clearly, coming back from the groin last year, he wasn't quite himself. Been such an accurate kicker for us, and down the stretch, he kicked the ball as well as he had throughout his career. And again, there's a lot of factors that go into that. I do think he was healthy, and that was behind him. But this was not an easy decision. Dan's been a great player for us. Not a good player, a great player at a very critical position. But it's a decision we felt like we had to make for our team right now.
Everybody's in competition, obviously. At what point this summer did you and your staff come to the realization that there's a kicking competition?
Oh, I think I agree with your first statement, that everybody's in competition, and Dan knows that. Dan's been in competition throughout his career. I think we brought 4 or 5 kickers in his rookie year. He understands the nature of this, and Brett kicked alongside Dan all throughout training camp, and he did a really nice job in practice. Dan did a nice job in practice. We just felt like when we put it all together, all the different factors, that this was the best decision for our team right now.
What impressed you most about Mayer, especially when you're discussing the back and forth and you know that it makes...
Okay, so that's enough of Jason Garrett, if you don't mind, guys. will bear with me as we get this stuff together. So basically, here's what we have to realize with the NFL. It is the bottom line. And the bottom line is, how much money does it cost? And when you look at players, you have to go ahead and say, okay, if I can get somebody who's younger, who's got more career left, that's going to cost me less money, then I got to make that move. So, looking at that, the Cowboys said, well, Dan Bailey's $3.4 million. Dan Bailey has not been healthy the last 2 years. He had the back issue, had the groin issue, and started missing stuff. So if he were still kicking Dan Bailey like he was 2 years ago, then you say, yeah, we'll probably pay him that money. But you start wondering, is he just losing it? And maybe it's just a cycle where he comes back. Now, let me give a shout out real quick to everybody who's over on Vimeo. I see Sean George. I see Maribera. I see Sandman in the building over on Vimeo. I see Sean George. I see D Detailer. And all you guys, Frank Whittaker. And over here, of course, we got Party Animal. We got JR214. The Fat Guy Rocks. Eric. Good Lord. There's too many of you guys to name. So, that's where we are. On the flip side of that, we got $19.5 million cash, which is unbelievable when you think that we went into the offseason with $19 million in cash. We have $500,000 more than we started the offseason with. And when you look at all the guys that we have that are dead money, from Tony Romo to Des Bryant, Nolan Carroll, and the list goes on and on and on, that 20-some million dollars comes off. You guys got to understand, we're going to have a whole lot of money. And any money that we don't spend between now and the end of the year rolls into next year's money. So when you start worrying about, what you're seeing quarterbacks that are making, you got Zeke Elliott and things, and I'm not sure that you break the bank on a running back, but we'll cross that bridge down the road, so we're not going to worry about that right now. So the Cowboys have some money, and they've definitely freed up some more. Question is there something else in mind with all this cash? I mean, Jerry Jones, he's always itching to spend some money. So, and when I look at the moves that they said, they said we're looking for safety help. I understand that you're looking for safety help that's more immediate right now. And I had people jump at me and say, you talk about Dak Prescott and everything else and stuff, but then you don't give any faith into Kevon Frazier. Okay, well, Dak Prescott's played 2 years. Kevon Frazier's only had a few plays, and he just popped his shoulder out after having a blood clotting issue. That's not to say he can't be a Pro Bowler, because maybe he will. And Xavier Woods, do you know how bad his hamstring really is? It said 2 to 4 weeks. I don't know. It could be another 2. He could miss the second, maybe the third game. And we know what happens with hamstring issues. Think about, Awuzie last year. Awuzie kept coming back around. They kept trying to play him at the start of the season. He'd get out there for a couple of plays, boom. Set back for another 3 weeks. Go back out there again, boom. And he was lost for another 3 weeks. You could be looking at that same situation with Xavier Woods. You really need to let a hamstring heal before you get a guy out there, because you can easily pull a hamstring. And what you got to understand right now is we've got a tough schedule. At least on paper right now, it looks like it's a tough schedule. You never know, because last year a lot of people saw the Giants and said, oh man, we got the Giants, man, that's going to be a tough game. Well, it wasn't. But the reality is, you got to be ready for every single game, starting with Carolina. And if there's a way that you can put somebody else that's a veteran out there that has some experience, because the guys we're signing right now, it's just a shirt, Cowboys 12, believe me. After that tomahawk steaks that we were eating last night and that paellas, no, dog, I'm swole, but thank you. I appreciate it. My wife always says you need to dress the right way to hide the fat. And, when you wear those baby t-shirts, the fat just kind of rolls out. So this Cowboy shirt, Cowboys always looks good. Definitely helps, fix the silhouette a little bit better. Shout out to Wayne over there, the red jerk. I like that. Um, so what you have to look at is there a way, fingers crossed for Thomas, that you can go through and do something to help your team without hurting your team? I'm sorry. We are too thin at safety. Too thin. And when you look at preseason, it's not like guys played a full game. Our starters hardly touched the field. And we still got people hurt left and right. So understand, you got to make some kind of a move. And I'm sorry, the guys that you've been signing that are basically, depth. I mean, we're talking way deep depth. We're not talking like second string. We're talking maybe just short of practice squad. They're no more experienced than what the guys we already have are here. Sonola, I agree with you about our drafting mentality. See, that's where the Cowboys are. I hate to always use New England as an example, but New England understands that it's not about a lot of veterans. New England is never an old team. I mean, they'll bring in a couple of veterans and stuff, Randy Moss and things, and fit them into a role. But for the most part, you don't see a lot of Pro Bowlers on their team. What you see are a lot of young guys. And when they start playing really good, they trade them to get more picks. They've learned that if you pick well, get them playing early before they get paid, you can keep reloading over and over and over again. Our problem had been through most of the 2000s and the end of, the 90s run was we kept thinking we're close. We just add a few more veterans, a few free agents here, we can just kind of keep reloading. And we got old. And the problem that happens when you get old, you start getting in the winter, back there in December and stuff, you start breaking down. You start aching a whole lot more. This team has the mentality and has now a young group of guys that you can go ahead and keep adding little pieces to that are going to grow together. And that's the best thing you have. Because, see, when you start working with the same guy over and over again, you start developing a chemistry. He knows where you're going to go. Sometimes you can kind of just give a little, I don't know if you can see it now, because now video quality should be better here. But did you see that? That's enough to let the guy know next to you, that I see something and I'm making a move, and he's going to know what you're going to do. And that's the kind of stuff that gives you an advantage when you're starting out there together. You're young, you're hungry, you're fighting for that next contract. You want to get paid. When you start getting those $10 and $15 million contracts, and you got more money than you know what to do with, you don't quite practice the same. You don't kind of put your body on the line the same. I'm not saying anything against any veterans or anything, but do you honestly believe that Dez Bryant went out there don't give me your hate mail, but do you believe that Dez Bryant went out there as hard every single day like he was fighting for a position? All these guys, all these wide receivers, all of these cornerbacks, these defensive linemen, they have been having to fight like gladiators to earn that star. They've been having to fight to earn a starting position. Antoine Woods, nobody thought anything about that dude. Who? Antoine Woods? Does Xavier Woods have a kid? Is that who Antoine is? I don't know. But he went from being fourth place, making a few little noise that first week, kept pushing Travis Frederick around, getting into little beefs and things, and earned the starting spot. Brian Price, I thought for sure was going to be the starter. Brian Price is now a Raider because this guy was hungry and didn't want to stick with the status quo that I'm just a backup. He fought tooth and nails to earn that. Randy Gregory, man, he's been working for 2 years to try and get himself back onto the field. And you see how hungry he is. These guys are like a bunch of crazed dogs. And I'm excited. But again, speaking of Brian Price, is a guy that I really wanted them to get back. I was surprised that they cut him. But see, that's the games that you kind of play. You kind of think that, okay, I can put this guy and he's going to clear waivers and we're going to re-sign him maybe at a lower price and keep a guy that we know somebody's going to take. Now, Eddie Cruz, I'm just going to tell you right now, Brian Price, going into training camp with Malik Collins hurt, who did you think was going to start at the one technique? Who did you think was going to start? Brian Price actually played really well in the first couple of games before he got hurt last year. He had started out training camp actually playing really, really well, and he was kind of penciled in if Malik Collins wasn't ready to go. And Malik Collins is still working his way back. So, yeah, he could have been the starter had it not been for Antoine Woods stepping up the way he did. So you see this defense, and I think our defense is going to help this offense tremendously. We're going to not have Travis Frederick, but at least, oh, Miss Jackie's telling you, watch it, Eddie. Don't mess with Miss Jackie because she will hit you upside the head with the wrench. Don't ever mess with Miss Jackie. Quick question. Do you think our defense will end up... Okay. Tobias, here's the thing. Last year, our defense, the defense that gave up back-to-back 35-point games at home, something that had never happened in the NFL before, our defense that, without Sean Lee, was giving up 180 yards on the ground. Believe it or not, in yardage given up, our Dallas Cowboys were 8th, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. 8th in the NFL in yardage, 12th in scoring defense. Where they really need to improve is turnovers, where they were 18th. And think about this now. You lost Sean Lee, and you had Jalen Smith on one leg. You didn't have as much depth that you have right now on the defensive line. So being a top 10 defense, you're already a top 10. Now the question is, will they be a top 5? And I think they can be a top 5 because of the change in philosophy in defense. We're not playing that bend, don't break, keep everything in front of you and wait for the offense to mess up. We're going after guys. We are physically going after guys. And I love it because when you start putting pressure on the receivers, when you start giving them that chuck and knock them out of the route, Mark, just go back to sucking up to Eagles fans for views and clickbait. That X Factor, I'm going to tell you, one thing I'm going to let you guys know. Listen to me. We are not taking any more of the stuff that went on before. Okay? This is going to be real stuff. Now, I'm not sucking up to any, because there's some decent Eagle fans. I hate the Eagles, but there's some good people in there. In fact, there were some Eagles out there that supported me going through all this trauma and stuff. I don't suck up to anybody. I have discussions with people. And if you don't like what I do, Miss Jackie or Cam can go ahead and let you go. Because we're not going to go through what we went before. So I appreciate that you're here, but understand you don't have to be here. And as far as views go, I don't have a problem getting views. I've never had problems getting views. We're going to deal with the Panthers starting tomorrow. I know I promised you guys we'd start going through and dealing with them and everything else after we got the final cuts. But, dealing with the Brian Price situation, the Travis Frederick, the Dan Bailey, the final cuts, the final rosters and stuff. We want to set this stuff up. And I get done with this, doing my work and stuff on the Panthers. But the Panthers just put Matt Khalil, one of their best offensive linemen, on injured reserve. So, Paul, I'm working on that. I'm still trying to get everybody's addresses together. Somewhere down here in the man cave, there's a notepad that has everybody's address on it, and I don't know which one it is. I've been working on cleaning up the place and getting the stuff together. I will find it and get it out there, but thank you for reminding me. Cut Rico. Well, here's the thing with Rico. Rico is a dumbass. However, who out there hasn't made a mistake? Who out there has not done something that they look back now and say, you know what, that was just dumb? Or how many times have you done something that you were lucky enough that you didn't get caught? Now, I'm not saying what he did was right, but there's a lot of guys out there right now that have done a whole lot worse than that haven't even got a phone call from the NFL this season. And can't wait to hear more about that. Can't wait to hear more about what, Mark? Rico Rico's on 53. But here's the thing. The bottom line is this. You can put up with somebody if they got talent. You know, as much as the Cowboys said that they were there to try and help Greg Hardy, you know, get himself together, it wasn't that they're out there doing charity work and they're looking to try and help the homeless guy on the street. The bottom line was he can play. He's got a special set of skills that we can use. And as long as he has that, we're going to go ahead and say, hey, we're here to try and help this guy out. There's no free lunches. There is no free lunches. So that's where you are with Rico. And I think they're not really wowed with any of the tight ends. That's why we got 4 of them on there. They're really not sure who's going to be the one. Rico was stressed. Yeah, he was stressing or something. And yeah, maybe. And here's the thing, too. I guarantee you, I don't have any proof. I don't have any evidence. Don't quote me, NFL. Don't call me about it. But I can guarantee you that there's a lot of guys that actually do smoke some weed. Not necessarily recreationally, but to help deal with the pain. Trent Williams in Washington, he said so himself. He's been suspended for 4 games. But what you have to understand is, if you don't get busted, you only get tested once a year, and you know when the test is. And I'm sure he had passed the test. It was good to go. He was just dumb enough to be over at the Star and get busted. Can I live stream for Thursday night's football? You know what? I think because it's the season opener for you, Maribera, we definitely will live stream because we know, Lord knows that Brethren will be here not watching the game. He'll be here live streaming with us. So, yes. I see the Eagles trolls have found us. I want to know something with you Eagles. Are you guys worried at all about your team? I've been hearing all off season. You know, it's funny because a lot of times I say things and people come back and say, you don't know what you're talking about. He's going to be fine. You're an idiot. Ha! I told you guys early last off season. I said he's going to wear a brace. No, he won't be wearing a brace. You don't know Jack. I also said I don't think there's any way in the world he's going to be ready to start the season. But of course, everybody looks at AP. Well, AP did it, guys. It hasn't even been a year, and it wasn't just an ACL. He blew the damn thing out. That's just wishful thinking to think that he was going to be ready to start the season. Who knows when he's going to be ready? But what they're going to do, if you're an Eagle fan, you got to worry about, is that they do rush him back out there, and he's not ready, and he does more damage than he. Because, see, when you're a football player, you always believe you can go. You always say, hey, I'm fine. No, you're not. You're on one freaking leg, dude. But you still want to go out there and play. And if it's up to the player's thinking, I don't want to lose my spot. You know Carson Wentz hated seeing the team win the Super Bowl without him leading it after all the work he did. Yeah, Nick Foles was MVP. But here's the thing about Nick Foles. Nick Foles is very streaky. I'm not saying that he's not still on that streak, but I got to tell you, he didn't look too good so far in preseason, and he played quite a bit. You guys still have some guys that are still just working their way back from injury. And I don't think I'm gonna put myself out there because I know somebody will cut this and they're gonna put it away for later on so they can throw it back at me. But I don't think you guys are gonna win the division. I really don't. One, because of history, because we look at it since you guys did it in 2003, 2004. Nobody's repeated the division. Even though I always say the team that wins the division, on average, loses about 3.5 games the next years. I think you guys will be coming back down to earth. So I'll leave that out there. You guys can go tell all the rest of your Eagle friends and all that. And I know they're going to come bombard me and all that. And I understand that. But that's just the way I feel. And how else would I feel? I'm a Dallas Cowboy homer, okay? I'm about the Cowboys. This is a Dallas Cowboy channel. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I don't have to be, I can be biased. It's my channel. But that's how I feel. Giants will be better, but you couldn't be much worse than they were last year. And the Redskins, well, they're the Redskins. So that's what I feel about you Eagles. Now, shoot, Eagles. Shoot. Go on. Go on. Philly's going to lose on Thursday. I think, that's, oh, God. If Philadelphia does lose on Thursday, you know how Brethren's going to be in here? Falcons Nation as he is on Vimeo? Because I believe he's on both chats at the same time right now. Do you have two computers or are you just going from one to the other? Earl Thomas is coming. I'm scared to talk about Earl Thomas, but I tell you what, if the Cowboys ever get Earl Thomas, it ain't going to be pretty for me. I'm just going to tell you. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. Colin Lufus, glad you're back. So the Eagles won't have their starting quarterback, wide receiver, and linebacker on Thursday. What will they say about the Falcons if they lose? Well, you know what? As much as I don't want to hear Brethren or Falcons Nation, you know what? A division rival losing, I'm happy about. Well, here's the thing with Eric Reed. As much as he's got ability and as much as he would be an upgrade, we're still dealing with that whole situation of the anthem protest, and there is no way in the world that Jerry Jones is going to hire him. There's none. Have I done my predictions for the season? I have said, okay, here's what I've said as far as the Cowboys go, Tobias. I believe 11-5. I believe the Eagles will end up second at 9-7. I think the Giants 7-9, 8-8. And I think the Redskins go 6-10. So that's where I am. That's been what I've been sticking with for a while here, and we'll see how it goes. But the fight, man, that perfect name for you. I am glad to be back here too. You know what? I am actually so energized and so happy with what happened because what we're able to do now. I can't wait to get the guys down here so we can really start doing some stuff where I've got somebody sitting here and we start doing the live streaming. I'm working on getting the phone line so we get a better sound quality so you guys will actually be able to start calling in as well. I still need to do a little more testing with it, and I need to get one other computer in here to upgrade this one, and then this set is going to be incredible. Calvin Williamson. I'm like, cocaine, man. You gotta have me. Damn, man. I can't say I've done any coke, so don't know how that is, but okay. Yes, I was alive when they won the last Super Bowl. Yeah, I've been alive when the Cowboys have won every one of theirs. In fact, been to every one of theirs, so that's how old I am. How do I feel about AP to the Redskins? I was having a discussion yesterday with a friend of mine. One thing you're going to get with AP is you're going to see him have a couple of really good games that are eye-opening, but for the most part, you're going to see some other ones that it's just really not that good. He's getting up there. His body's still kind of breaking down, and he's with the Redskins. But we'll see what happens there. Man, we've got so many people in this chat. This thing is just like rolling through. Eric Reed announced he would do the right because he's unemployed. Well, again, I don't see Jerry doing that one. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, right? Brown 16. Come on, man. Come on, man. Brown 16-0. No, you got that backwards, right? Where am I watching the game? Oh, man. Well, originally, what we were looking at doing was doing a road trip like we did to the draft to Carolina for the game. We were going to rent the RV and stuff until a couple things happened. One, my wife thought the season started the following Sunday, and we're actually going to be gone on vacation. So we're going to be actually in South Carolina. So I'll be in South Carolina watching the game down there. We'll still be live streaming and stuff. Michael will be up here. And if I can never get back in touch with my man, Michael will have the game and stuff over here as well. So he'll be watching and probably live streaming too. With the change in the other channel, my other channel, the money that I made from that channel, I put back into YouTube and doing stuff. So when I did the autograph signings, or when we did the road trips or the draft and stuff, all that money was paid for from what I was making on YouTube. Now that channel's been shut down, I got to start all over, and who knows if and when this channel will ever be monetized. So I'm gonna have to do a lot more work on my day job to be able to go to a bunch of the games and stuff. I do know I'll be at the Washington game here in DC, and I'm trying to work on getting to the Atlanta game in Atlanta, and at least one in Dallas. So we'll see where we go with there. Well, Lewis, I tell you what, everybody, if you haven't already, what I'm doing is Vimeo is a different platform. It's not YouTube. It's actually more of, there's a lot less people on there. In fact, I don't think there's anybody doing what I'm doing on Vimeo as far as being a sports blogger. But what it is like new filmmakers and stuff, and production type work is what gets done on there, because you have to pay to be on that site. But I got to tell you, it's night and day different as far as the video quality, being able to, I can live stream to like 10 different groups if I wanted to on Facebook at the same time. And being able to simulcast Vimeo and all that. Go ahead and subscribe to Vimeo on there, because if anything ever happens to YouTube, everything I do gets loaded to Vimeo first, and from there it gets spread out to YouTube, to my website, Facebook, and everything else. So if I ever get shut down and you're looking for me, look for the Jobu Sports Report on Vimeo. I love it, and I can't thank you guys enough who all donated to the GoFundMe. Basically, it's $75 a month to be on that platform, but I've got 7 terabytes of storage, so that way I can keep everything that I do. Right now, all the great work that we did, the draft trip, the game last year, I don't have copies of all that stuff. It's all somewhere in YouTube servers, and it's gone. So everybody who went through helping me out with joining my Patreon page, we're going to be doing some extra stuff for all you guys that joined that, as well as for the GoFundMe and stuff. That's the reason why we were able to get back here and do this stuff. So I can't thank you guys enough. I lost my train of thought there. My wife knew when the game was. Browns 8-8. Well, if the Browns went 8-8, that would be incredible. Well, there's going to be a lot of guys. See, here's the great thing. Think about this time last year. We were riding high. 13-3. Best offensive line in football. Zeke Elliott. And it all went to crap. But that season, they kept talking about who the Cowboys going to have rush the passer. They've got nobody. Nobody thought about DeMarcus Lawrence being the guy he is. Get my website. Yeah, I gotta. I should put in. Wait a minute. Your website is secure. They call. You know what? Dominguez. They actually called me about securing it, and I was like, I don't use it that much, so I do need to do that, and I just got to figure out how. That's one of those things that I wish I had somebody who was technology savvy, somebody who knew how to actually take care of the website and stuff like that, could help me out, because I am literally learning on the fly, and when you're old, you're an old dog. It's hard to teach and get a new trick. So you're right. I do need to secure that. Thank you very much. In fact, let me make a note on that over here. So when we looked at last year and we drafted Taco, everybody said Taco's going to need to start. He's going to need to make an impact right away. But because Demarcus Lawrence started playing really well, Tyrone Crawford started playing really well. David Irvin came back and he was playing well. Taco didn't get that much of an opportunity, and I think it's actually going to be good that he wasn't thrown into the Wolves right away. And I think we're seeing the same thing that's going to happen with Van Der Esch. Because it's almost amazing that nobody is talking about Van Der Esch. I know there's going to be some people out there that are going to start saying he's a bust. I guarantee you by week 2, we're going to have people out there saying he's a bust, he's a bum. But here's what's the good thing. Here's the great thing. Because you get guys that you're not expecting, okay? Antoine Woods is like playing with house money. Dude was 4th string. He's making chump change. He's a guy nobody thought would sniff the starting lineup, much less get any plays in. The fact that he's starting, that's house money. Joe Thomas. We got Joe Thomas. People are like, oh, Joe Thomas. The way he's playing right now, you got to feel better if Sean Lee goes down. So that gives Van Der Esch an opportunity to learn from behind Sean Lee. To watch that guy. To be brought in slowly to learn. So it's not like you're overwhelmed. So many players, I think, get ruined in the NFL because when they go out there, they're a deer caught in the headlights. Everything is so much faster than in college. And you lose guys because they're just not ready to be there. It started too soon. So I think it's going to be a great place for him to be right there. Now, of course, I'm not worried about our defense as much with the exception of safety. And, guys, everybody knows how I feel about the situation with Earl Thomas. Seattle is trying to get the best deal that they can. In my mind, here's the thing. Seattle's trying to get the best deal they can. They're literally changing their minds every couple of days or so from, we didn't get a good offer for him. We only got a 3rd round. Basically trying to say, give us something more so we get this shit done. To the next day saying, oh, no. We're not going to trade him. So now it's like, oh, okay. Well, let me offer you some more so that way I can get him. They're trying to talk any way they can to try and bump up the price. Oh, we've got lots of teams that are contacting us. Okay. You mean nobody's offered you enough? At some point you got to say, let's take something. Karen, you can't do. You know what, Karen? You think you can't keep up? Try keeping one eye over here and one eye over here, okay? Because I got Wayne Ross, who's over here talking about Sean Lee. Let's hope he's not Bobby Carpenter. And then I've got this one over here rolling around, as well as I've got to check and make sure I'm not talking too loud, that the thing goes, okay? So, yeah, trust me, this old dog is having a hard way to go. But shout out to you for being here. It doesn't matter who's your daddy right now. Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. You know what? You Eagle fans, please don't be cockroaches. Please don't be cockroaches that scatter when the lights come on if your team goes south. The way you guys have come in here talking so much, pounding your chest, don't be a bandwagon fan. Because that's what a lot of you guys are. It's amazing that I've never seen Eagles paraphernalia at Bed and Bath. See, I went to Bed and Bath today with the wife and all that shopping. And oh my God. Guys, I love this. Look at it. Check this out. I actually got it for the dog from Bed and Bath. It was supposed to be $39. It was on sale for $14. $14. I got to tell you, this thing's comfortable. I've been working on it, no Jack Ninja. I've been working on the sound and everything else, and we're going to continue to get this stuff fine-tuned. So, yeah, and I got these great coasters for the man cave here. So, I tell you, it was kind of cool. But this was the first time, because they always have Cowboy stuff because we're America's team. My Rowdy over there that I bought, believe it or not, I bought that in Philadelphia. In Philly. That's right, I bought Cowboy stuff in Philadelphia. I've never seen Eagle stuff there before here in DC. And there it was, whole section, Eagles. That's for all the Eagle bandwagon guys. People that weren't buying the stuff before, but now that you won the Super Bowl, oh yeah, I'm an Eagle fan. I've always been an Eagle fan. Yeah, just like those Seattle Seahawks fans that have been there for the last 20 years. Yeah. Just like those New England Patriots fans that have been there for, 20 plus years or longer. Yeah. So don't be those guys that if your team goes south, that you disappear, like the Giant Trolls last year. Because they came in here wearing me out week after week, talking smack that we beat you twice, we're Super Bowl favorites. And once they lost a couple of games, Brethren's back over here. He was over there, just like a cockroach jumping from place to place. Bandwagon cockroaches. But understand, and don't, here's what I ask you guys. It's just talk on YouTube. Don't take it serious, okay? It's football talk on YouTube. There's nothing better than talking a little trash between teams. It's half the fun of football. Because believe me, a lot of these games really aren't that good. The trash talk is always good, though. Yeah, we've been blessed, Dominguez, that we haven't had to deal with the Giant Trolls for a year now. Skip is an idiot, and Frederick okay. All right, I'm going to leave that one alone. Do I think Rico will be part of the 46 on Sunday or Schultz? That's a good question. That is a really good question. How do I get rid of poison ivy? Calamine lotion. Or better yet, stay out of the poison ivy. Panthers offense, our defensive line better be licking their chops because the Panthers are beat up. Like I said, Matt Khalil is on injured reserve. Cam is going to be running for his life. He's got better wide receivers than he had last year. But you can get to Cam with the defensive line that we have. But here's, Jason Garrett. The crazy thing about Jason Garrett is Jason Garrett has tons of records. Records that you don't want to have. Like I said, the Cowboys were the first team ever to lose games back-to-back at home, scoring 30 points or more, and you lose. Jason Garrett has had games like losing to Green Bay up 26-3 at halftime. Not against Aaron Rodgers, but Matt Flynn. I mean, when you look at it, it's just like, God, how does he still have a job? I'm hoping that finally we get it right this year. That he's beginning to feel pressure because I don't know about you guys. Falcons Nation, see, you're a cockroach. You're the only cockroach that we've got from the Falcons. Am I picking the Falcons? I think the Falcons will win. I'm not saying I'm picking them. I think they'll win. How about that? I'm hoping that Jason Garrett is actually feeling some pressure. Because if you notice Jason Garrett's demeanor, you notice that when Jason Garrett was doing that press conference talking about Dan Bailey, you don't see smiles on him anymore. You don't see the guy that looks like, I feel so lucky that I have this job. And I believe he's feeling some pressure. One, because, like I've said, this is, to me, if they're the Cowboys are run like a normal organization. This should be a do or die situation because he's on second to last year of his contract. You don't ever go into a final year of your contract as head coach. You either get fired or you get extended, at least a 1-year contract. So the Cowboys, at the end of the season, should be thinking, is he the guy? Are we going to extend him? Or are we going to move on? And I believe when you look at Chris Richard was not let go for what he was doing coaching-wise on the field. Chris Richard was let go because Pete Carroll was getting scared. You don't fire a guy who 3 years in a row had the #1 point scoring defense. The fourth year was fourth, and the last year it was 13th. And that 13th was Sherman tore his Achilles. Sheldon Richardson was hurt. Cam was hurt. And Cliff Averill was lost early in season 2. Losing those 4 guys, they were still 13th in point scoring. If ability was the reason he was fired, then Jason Garrett should have been fired a long time ago. But Pete Carroll fired him because it was about survival. He was worried about that defense. He was worried about, I believe, Chris Richard and trying to gain control of that place. And I think Jason Garrett is feeling a little of that too. Because when I'm old school. I'm old school. I love seeing a coach get into your behind. The coaches that got into my behind, for whatever reason, motivated me a whole lot more. I don't know if it was about fear or making you reach down and grab a little bit more when you don't think there's anything more to give. The coaches that were easy on me, I didn't put out the effort. And you saw Chris Richard, who I still say is the defensive coordinator. I know Rod Martinelli is the defensive coordinator, but I've seen Rod Martinelli only working with the defensive line. When I saw Chris Richard, it wasn't just the cornerbacks and the linebackers that were there. I saw Randy Gregory right up in there too. I saw every single player on that defense around the circle around him lighting that ass up, going off on those guys and getting results out of those guys. If you don't believe that this defense has turned a corner, that this defense is playing with some attitude and some edge, that this defense may be playing better than it's played in about 20-some years, we don't have that many new parts on defense. Excuse me. We don't have that many parts that are different on defense. Yeah, our cornerbacks are a year older. But everything else is the same. But you see a groundswell of change with that defense. And seeing that defense over there getting fired up, seeing that defense improve incredibly, and knowing that Jason Garrett is here, basically he's head coach, but also kind of in charge of the offense, he's feeling some pressure. And hopefully that pressure creates some diamonds. Cam Billings went crazy on me for posting Dak stats, and he banned me. Okay. Oh, Willie, you had to make a new profile? How is it you guys are able to make new profiles so fast? Well, Willie, okay, you know what? That was last year. You're a broken record, man. Start over, dude. Come on, man. Ain't you tired? Ain't you tired, Willie? So we'll see what Jason Garrett does with the offense. I think Taco's, you know what? Leon Lett, basically, that was Leon Lett's guy that he said he thinks is going to have a breakout year. And I have to agree with you on that one. And I think the fact that you have a Randy Gregory who, you know, he's played well and everything else, I don't know that he's still going to be ready to play a full game. He still have to get that full football shape up on, and I'm not sure he's got that all completely. And I think it'll be great to be able to split time with Taco, because Taco going to be hungry and wanting to feast out there. So what you're going to get is, when guys do get out there, they're going to have to say to themselves, I'm going to make the most of this opportunity because I don't know when I'm getting out there again. They're going to be fresh. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to be hungry. I'm excited about the defense more than anything else. Mark and Jobu obviously gave Rico some mojo. Well, maybe we gave him some mojo, but we didn't give him no weed, though. We didn't give him the weed, Sandman. Who's our starting safety? Right now, Jeff Heath and Kevon Frazier, because we don't have nobody else. unless somehow they make a trade for Earl in the next couple of days. Well, Victor, here's the thing, man. Understand that players come and go. There's always going to be players that you wish were still playing. I still wish Roger Staubach was playing. And I believe it was time for Witten. For Witten to go out now before he was carried off, sometimes guys play too long. They get too beat up, and they're not anything for the second life. Witten's skills had started to slow down. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be the best tight end that we have on the team right now, but it's at the point of this team is turning over or has turned over completely. They're ready to start the next generation. It's sad that, DeMarcus Ware, Tony Romo, and Jason Witten didn't get a ring here. Those are guys that you look like and say they are true Dallas Cowboy players and they deserve to get a ring. But unfortunately, only one team gets it a year. And there are a lot of guys that were great players that never got a ring. You wish that they did. Believe me, I wish that they did, but it's just not in the cards. You need not only to have great players, you need a bit of luck, you need health, you need to get a couple of breaks. But it is literally razor thin getting that Super Bowl. Sometimes you catch Jesus in a jug and you make that run like the Eagles did. Nobody saw that coming from them. And then it might be another 50 years before they go back. That's just the way football is. Willie will be ghost soon. Philly's scared. The Eagles have my tight end, Mark. Okay. Willie Beam was timed out for Jackie. Okay, for 300 seconds. Okay. Well, I'm excited. You know what? I'm telling you, Byron Jones moving to cornerback may have been the best move other than Chris Richard. Because I always said that Byron Jones, to me, didn't have the mentality of a safety. And by that I mean a safety is a guy who wants to take your head off. And Byron Jones has never seemed like he was that ruthless of a guy to be ready to do that. He's got skills. Lord knows he can jump out of the building. But he just did not seem like a safety. And that's one of those things where the Cowboys try to be the mad scientists. They're always taking people and moving around from this spot to that spot. And it's like, you know what? Stop. The guy came in as a cornerback. Keep the dude as a cornerback. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. And they do that so many times. It's like Rico Gathers. Listen, he was a basketball player. He was used to grabbing the ball from out of the air and stuff. Stop trying to make him a guy that's a blocker. Understand, he's a pass catcher. Understand, he's got size over top of everybody. Understand, you don't have to play him every single play, but you got to find a few instances to use that size advantage. Get him against a 5'10" cornerback anywhere on the field and throw a damn jump ball, and I guarantee you he's going to come down with it. And that's what drives me crazy about Jason Garrett is we've got an exact formula. If you don't fit that formula, we're not deviating from it, then we don't need you. Sometimes you have to look at the talent you have and go through it. If Randy Gregory has as many sacks as DeMarcus Lawrence, who would I rather have? If all things were equal, you would say Randy Gregory because he's younger and less miles on him and hasn't had to have back surgery. However, you still have to worry about the drug issue. I have a family member who, God bless her, she'll come through and she'll say, I'm not doing drugs anymore. I'm done. I want to straighten my life out. I'm good. I don't need it. And somehow, it just keeps coming back around. Time will pass. We'll go through the same cycle. Oh, I don't know what I did. Oh, that was just stupid. I'm done with that. So that's what you have to understand, that once you are a drug addict, you may be clean, but you're always a drug addict. I'm not saying he is. I'm just putting that out there from my own personal experience of trying to help somebody who's had issues where they had everything that was right in front of all you had to do was not get busted with drugs, and yet they still did. Falcons Nation, here's the thing. I don't show the games on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or anything because I'm not risking that. I will do what I do, which is we live stream during the game, talking about the game and what's going on. So that's what we'll be doing. So I'm not, no, I'm not putting the, no. And why would I need to put the Thursday? That's covered everywhere. Come on, man. Don't be dumb. Excuse me for calling you that. Eagles fans' drug of choice is delusional. All right. Oh my God, it's 10 o'clock already. Jeez. You know, guys, the time flies so fast when we get together. This is it. It's hard to believe that the off season is over. Training camp is done. And a few days from today, the Eagles will be taking on the Falcons, and come Sunday, it's a season opener. I don't know about you, but it seems like time is flying by awful fast. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm happy. I'm scared. I've got about every emotion in the world that's going on about the season. Now, I will say this. Understand, when it comes to football, you really don't know what team you have until you start getting in October. Don't get too hyped up about what your team did the first couple of games, and don't get too depressed by what your team did in the first couple of games. I've seen the Arizona Cardinals go 4-0 in the first couple of games, first 4 games, and then proceed to lose the rest of them. I've seen the San Diego Chargers start at 0-4 and make the playoffs. So kick back, relax, don't do the doom and gloom. Enjoy the football season because it's going to go by so fast. I'm happy to be here with all you guys. And again, thank everybody who supported me, everybody who sent me well wishes, everybody who said we miss you, everybody who gave me ideas on how to get back, everybody who donated money to help pay for the Vimeo and help upgrade the studio. When I say I can't do this without you, I honestly can't do this without you. Look for this channel to take this to a whole nother level. We're going to be doing some different programming. We're going to be doing some more upgradings. We're going to be bringing you more coverage. And I am so happy that all of you guys are with me. And I will see you guys first thing in the morning with Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys, where we now have to start focusing in on the Carolina Panthers. I'm Mark Holmes. Everybody, hope you had a great holiday weekend, and I'll see you soon.